Every transformation starts with honesty, and most people never get past that first step. Anthony Edwards did. He stopped pretending to be something he wasn't, and in that moment, everything changed. He didn't reject his rawness. He accepted it. He didn't hide his flaws. He acknowledged them. Acceptance is not weakness. Acceptance is clarity, and clarity is the foundation of growth. Anthony Edwards understood something early. You cannot evolve if you are fighting your current identity. You must see yourself clearly before you can reshape yourself intentionally. He accepted who he was: explosive, confident, fearless, sometimes unfocused, sometimes reckless, sometimes underestimated mentally. Acceptance removed confusion. Confusion is what keeps players stuck. Anthony removed it by saying internally, "This is who I am right now, and this is who I am choosing to become." Choice is power. He didn't wait for coaches to define him. He didn't wait for narratives to mature. He defined himself first. Defining yourself early protects you from external noise later. Noise cannot penetrate a settled identity. Once identity is accepted, direction becomes clear. Anthony didn't try to become a copy. He didn't chase comparisons. He studied greatness, but he did not imitate blindly. He extracted principles. Principles are timeless. He studied the greats not for moves, but for mindset. He studied passionately how they thought and prepared, how they responded to pressure, how they carried themselves when the lights were brightest. Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, players who decided internally who they were long before consensus followed. Anthony absorbed this lesson deeply. You must become the player mentally before the world agrees with you. Agreement is not required for belief. Belief installed early creates fearlessness, and fearlessness changes how defenders approach you. They feel it before they can explain it. Anthony began to carry himself differently. Not louder, not forced, certain. Certainty is intimidating. He started seeing himself as a problem, not in arrogance, but in expectation. Expectation changes behavior. When you expect dominance, you prepare differently. You attack differently. You recover differently. Preparation became non-negotiable. Mental reps mattered as much as physical ones. Visualizing moments, owning matchups before they happened, seeing defenders break before they did. The subconscious does not know the difference between repetition and reality. He fed it confidence intentionally. This is where the shift began. Anthony stopped playing to prove. He started playing to impose. Imposition is different. Proving seeks approval. Imposing assumes authority. Authority is mental first. Now defenders weren't just guarding athleticism. They were guarding conviction. Conviction is harder to disrupt than skill. Skill can be schemed. Mindset cannot. This brings us to the second evolution, becoming mentally ahead of the moment. Anthony decided that pressure would never surprise him. He would arrive mentally prepared before the moment arrived physically. This is elite thinking. Elite players don't react to moments. They recognize them. Recognition slows the game down. When the game slows, power increases. Anthony began trusting his instincts more. Hesitation faded. Doubt dissolved. Doubt only exists when identity is unstable. His identity was now firm. Firm identity creates aggression without recklessness. He attacked decisively. Decisiveness forces defenders into reactive mode. Reactive defenders lose. He understood something crucial. Once defenders feel you believe in yourself completely, they hesitate. And hesitation creates space. Space is deadly. This is where Anthony's confidence became visible. Not through words, through actions, through body language, through willingness to take responsibility. Responsibility accelerates growth. He wanted the matchup, wanted the moment, wanted the best defender. Wanting pressure is the sign of mental readiness. Pressure does not break the prepared. Prepared minds dominate chaos. Anthony Edwards was no longer just playing basketball. He was imposing an identity. And once identity is imposed, the game bends. Once belief is installed and identity is chosen, the game changes its posture toward you. Defenders feel it before they understand it. Anthony Edwards reached that point when he stopped asking what the game required of him and started deciding what he would demand from the game. This is where the third transformation began. Becoming a matchup nightmare is not about adding moves. It's about removing doubt. Doubt slows reactions. Doubt creates hesitation, and hesitation gives defenders hope. Anthony removed hope. He began approaching matchups with certainty, not emotion, certainty that his strength mattered, certainty that his speed mattered, certainty that his confidence would not waver regardless of result. When a defender knows you will attack again after a miss, they tighten up. When they know you won't avoid contact, they retreat. When they know you expect dominance, they feel pressure immediately. Pressure changes behavior. Anthony learned how to apply pressure without forcing shots. He didn't rush possessions to show aggression. He imposed it through pace, physicality, and intent. Intent is felt in the first dribble, in the way you square your shoulders, in the way you initiate contact instead of absorbing it. Initiation is dominance. Defenders are trained to react. Anthony made them respond. Response is slower than anticipation. Anticipation belongs to the confident. Confidence allowed him to read the defender's fear. Fear shows up subtly. A half step back, a reach instead of chest contact, a lean instead of balance. He exploited those moments ruthlessly. Ruthless does not mean reckless. It means decisive. Decision-making sharpens when belief is stable. Anthony no longer debated options internally. He trusted instinct. Instinct is subconscious belief in motion. The more he trusted it, the more automatic his game became. Automatic execution feels explosive because there is no mental drag, no hesitation, no internal negotiation. Mental freedom increases physical output. This is why his athleticism became overwhelming. It was always there. What changed was clarity. Clarity unlocked power. Power guided by clarity is devastating. Defenders were no longer guarding potential. They were guarding inevitability. Now the game shifted again. Physical dominance became an extension of mental clarity, not an emotional response. Anthony did not play angry. He played certain. Anger burns energy. Certainty conserves it. He conserved energy for moments that mattered. Late quarters, big possessions, isolation situations where fear shows up fastest. Fear always shows itself when responsibility increases. Anthony welcomed responsibility. Responsibility signals leadership. Leadership changes how defenders approach you. They stop guarding you casually. They brace themselves. Bracing slows reaction time. Slower reactions create separation. Separation creates advantage. Anthony used his body with intention. He initiated contact to dislodge balance. He attacked angles instead of bodies. He punished overplays. He embraced physicality without losing composure. Composure under contact is elite. Elite players do not flinch. Flinching invites aggression. Anthony never flinched. He absorbed hits and continued forward. Forward movement after contact is psychological dominance. It tells the defender, this won't stop me. Once defenders realize physicality won't deter you, they hesitate to apply it. Hesitation gives space. Space gives control. Control allows creativity. Anthony's creativity flourished because the game slowed down for him. Slowing down is not about pace. It's about perception. He saw openings earlier. He recognized mismatches instantly. He attacked before help could organize. Organization collapses under decisiveness. This is where matchup nightmares are born. A defender who cannot speed you up. A defender who cannot slow you down. A defender who cannot intimidate you. That defender is already beaten. Anthony became unguardable not because he added moves, but because he removed fear. Fearless players dictate terms. Dictation is mental authority. Authority is felt immediately. Once Anthony's belief stabilized, consistency followed. Consistency builds reputation. Reputation changes scouting reports. Scouting reports change defensive schemes. Schemes fail against conviction. Defenses sent help earlier. They shaded more aggressively. They tried to force him into decisions, but decision-making was now his strength. He saw traps before they closed. He used patience instead of panic. Panic collapses vision. Patience expands it. Expanded vision creates dominance beyond scoring. Anthony began controlling games without forcing numbers. Control is the highest form of dominance. Numbers follow control naturally. This is when defenders truly panic. Because panic doesn't come from scoring. It comes from unpredictability paired with confidence. Anthony was unpredictable because he trusted himself. Trust is the final separator. Players who trust themselves play free. Free players are dangerous. Dangerous players change outcomes. Anthony Edwards changed outcomes because he changed internally first. He accepted who he was. He became who he wanted to be mentally. He transformed into a match-up nightmare through clarity, not chaos. This is the evolution. And now, the game responds to him. Let everything slow now. Not because the game has paused, but because you are ahead of it. You are not chasing validation. You are not forcing dominance. You are not negotiating with doubt. You are settled. Settled minds are dangerous. You understand now what most never accept. You do not become unguardable by adding noise. You become unguardable by removing hesitation. Hesitation leaves when identity is chosen. You chose. You accepted who you were. You honored your rawness. You stopped apologizing for your power. Acceptance created clarity. Clarity created direction. Direction created certainty. Certainty changes behavior. You walk differently. You prepare differently. You attack differently. Attack without panic. Attack without doubt. Attack with intent. Intent is felt immediately. Defenders feel it in your stance. They feel it in your eyes. They feel it in the first dribble. They know you are not testing the moment. You are claiming it. You decided who you would become before the world agreed. Agreement is optional. Belief is not. Belief installed early becomes fearless. Fearless does not mean reckless. Fearless means clear. Clear minds execute cleanly. You studied greatness not to copy moves, but to absorb mindset. You learned how champions think under pressure. You learned how they prepare when no one is watching. You learned how they carry certainty into chaos. You made that thinking your own. Your subconscious accepted it. It trusts you now. When the moment tightens, your breathing remains steady. When contact arrives, your balance remains intact. When pressure rises, your vision expands. Expansion is power. You do not rush shots. You do not rush decisions. You do not rush growth. Growth unfolds because you allow it. You understand that patience is not waiting. Patience is confidence applied slowly. You apply it. You let defenders lean. You let help commit. You let the game reveal itself. Revelation favors the prepared. You are prepared. Prepared mentally before physically. Prepared emotionally before strategically. Prepared internally before externally. Internal preparation removes fear. Fear no longer lives here. You welcome the best defender. You welcome physicality. You welcome responsibility. Responsibility sharpens focus. Focus creates separation. Separation creates advantage. Advantage becomes inevitability. You are inevitable. You are not unpredictable because you are chaotic. You are unpredictable because you are calm. Calm allows choice. Choice allows control. You control pace. You control space. You control outcomes. Outcomes follow decisions. Decisions follow belief. Your belief is settled. Settled belief does not fluctuate. It does not rise with praise. It does not fall with misses. It remains. Remaining is strength. You remain composed when others rush. You remain aggressive when others retreat. You remain confident when others doubt. Doubt belongs to those who haven't decided. You decided. You decided to be unguardable, not by adding tricks, not by forcing dominance, but by trusting yourself completely. Trust removes drag. Mental drag slows bodies. Mental freedom unleashes them. You are free. Free to attack angles. Free to initiate contact. Free to finish through resistance. Resistance no longer surprises you. It confirms you. Every hit reinforces belief. Every stop fuels hunger. Every moment strengthens identity. Identity is now installed. Installed deeply. Installed permanently. Installed without condition. You do not seek approval from defenders. You impose expectations on them. Expectation creates pressure. Pressure breaks balance. Broken balance creates opportunity. You take opportunity decisively. Decisive movement feels explosive because it is unburdened. Unburdened minds move faster. You are faster mentally than anyone guarding you. You see openings before they appear. You feel weakness before it shows. This is awareness. Awareness is dominance. You do not fear mistakes. Mistakes do not define you. They inform you. Information sharpens instinct. Instinct now guides you. Guided instinct is mastery. Mastery does not announce itself. It reveals itself. The league sees it now, but you saw it long before. You knew. Knowing removes anxiety. Anxiety dissolves. You do not rush late moments. Late moments belong to you. Pressure does not speed you up. It focuses you. Focus sharpens execution. Execution becomes inevitable. You do not play to prove. You play to impose. Imposition is authority. Authority does not shout. Authority acts. You act. You act with clarity. You act with patience. You act with power guided by control. Power guided by control is unguardable. You are unguardable. Say this internally now. I accept who I am. I choose who I become. I trust my preparation. I trust my preparation. I do not rush moments. I do not fear defenders. I do not hesitate. I impose my will calmly. I attack decisively. I remain composed. My confidence is internal. My identity is installed. My execution is free. I am not reacting to the game. I am shaping it. My mindset is my edge. My belief is unshakable, and I am unguardable.